in sickness and in health. This might be the most pertinent and terrifying of all wedding vows in the time of COVID-19, as couples had to find innovative ways to formalize their unions, and the Office of the Attorney General shelved a number of wedding plans. But now, for better or worse, love is possible again, as the Office of the AG plans to reopen marriage services at Sharia House. This is, however, subject to approval by the Ministry of Health and to adherence to coronavirus safety tips. Gina Kirori has the details.
Veronica and Jerry quickly went from wanting every detail of her wedding day to be perfect to becoming excited just at the prospect of getting married to her fiancé, Francis Gitonga. It was a brief and tender church ceremony with only a small reserve of wedding guests.
Niliachieve kenye nilikuwa nataka because I just needed a man to marry me. So, and a man who will love me. I just needed those, despite having those others, flower girls and that bridal party, what is most required is a man to marry me.
In a time increasingly marked by isolation, couples have had to find ways to make their unions possible, including zooming their way down the aisle and sharing the special moments with their loved ones online. Others have had to shelve their plans to adhere to social distancing. As had the Registrar of Marriages at the Office of the Attorney General, who was overwhelmed by the number of those seeking marriage services.
I give you this ring.
But the wedding bells may be ringing again soon, as the Office of the Attorney General considers reopening the service, should it get the green light from the Ministry of Health.
The Ministry of Health did visit the Registrar of Marriages and went around the whole place, and they made recommendations that we have been able to put in place so that we can be able to get them come back and give us the go-ahead to open.
Should the couples choose to walk down the aisle at the Office of the Attorney General, they will commit to a new string of measures. We
are only going to have 4 people allowed in when a marriage is being conducted. The couple that is getting married and the witnesses. And then the 5th person will be the Registrar of Marriages.
The ceremonies will also take place in an open-air environment as opposed to the traditional office setting. Prior to the pandemic, couples had to file a notice in order to conduct the marriage, which would then happen within 90 days.
Only 22 cases have not expired. Their timeline of 90 days, only 22 marriages have not expired. The remaining 793, the period of 90 days has expired. So what will happen is that those couples will have to reapply.
The 793 will, however, not be required to pay the 3,900 bob application fee again. However, there is also a backlog of 1,754 couples who applied to the Registrar of Marriages. These couples were set to have their ceremonies conducted under the Christian or Hindu faith, but with the threat of the virus, the vows had to be put on hold. Those wishing to submit new applications can do so online through the online e-citizen platform.
Wedding bells may be heard here, but with a health pandemic, through sickness and through health has tested even the strongest of couples. But with the announcement from the AG's office that they will consider reopening the offices for marriage, these couples have been offered a glimmer of hope. The announcement from the Ministry of Health on Monday will, however, affirm this as they wait to see whether they can say "I do" to each other. Gina Kirori, NTV.